All right, so this is going to be the SAT College Board Practice Test number 8. So let's get started. Section 3, here we go. Number 1, in the equation of what is the value of x? Yeah, you can just go ahead and cancel one of the x's on the left and right, another one on the left and right. So that basically gives you on the left, that'll be 4x minus 3 minus 2, that'll be minus 5, and that'll be 7. So 4x is equal to 12, so x is equal to 3. D. Number 2, the graph shows whatever. Which of the following is the equation? Yeah, so it's got y-intercept of 0, so get rid of c and d. Slope seems like 2 over run, rise over run, so that's A. Number 3, the formula, whatever, don't read, whatever, because all you got to do is just solve for p. Subtract, multiply by 6 on both sides. 6e is equal to O plus 4m plus p. Go ahead and subtract O, go ahead and subtract 4m. And that basically should be the answer. 6e minus O minus 4m, and that's what's equal to p. And that is answer choice A. Number 4, in the figure above, RT is equal to TU. So RT is equal to TU. Let me just kind of mark that. What is the value of X? I want that shit. If you look at it, that's 114 right now. The fact that these two are the same probably means these two angles are the same. So I can figure that out by 180 minus 114. And that gives me 66. So it's got to be 33 and 33. Now, as far as the angle goes, it would be probably helpful for me to figure out the other angle inside right here, aka, well, I can go ahead and figure out that this is 66. So looking at this green triangle here, well, that'll be 180 minus these two together, which is going to be 97, and that'll be 83. So that goes 83 right there, which means that should be 83 because it's vertical angles. So if you basically look at it, that's 33, 83, and something. So they should all add up to 180. So 33 plus 83 plus x should equal 180. So that's 116 plus x is equal to 180. So subtract 116 on both sides, and that's how you get x is equal to 64. Answer choice C. Moving on, number 5, the width of a rectangular dance floor is W. Length is 6 feet longer than the width. So L is equal to 6 plus W, or W plus 6, whatever. Which of the following expresses the perimeter in terms of W? So perimeter is just length, width. So, you know, basically just 2L, 2W, but then you're not supposed to have any L in there. Well, you know L is 6 plus W, so another 6 plus W there. So we'll just use that. So that'll be W, 4 W's, and the 12, which is answer choice B. Number 6, which of the following consists of the y coordinates of all the points that satisfy the system of inequalities above? So basically these are two inequalities. You can go ahead and kind of just like graph them to see the best picture of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just make some rough sketch. So for the red one, the y-intercept of -1, slope is positive 2, kind of steep, or something like that. And then it is greater, y is greater, so I'm going to color the top portion of this graph right here. And then another one that we got is 2x is greater than 5, so go ahead and divide by 2, so x is greater than 5 over 2. I understand that there's no equal to sign, so you're not supposed to have a solid line, you're supposed to have a dotted line, but I'm not going to give a shit about that one. So I'll just be like, okay, so we have 5 over 2 somewhere over there. And then I'm going to draw a straight line right here, and then x is greater, so anywhere to the right? So it's basically something like this. And I want you to understand that these answer choices all talk about some y values. So if you think about it, the cut line is going to be at the very point of intersection right there. So if you go below, that's where you're going to realize that there's nothing that is colored for both region, because the solution set is supposed to be the overlapping region, which is going to be like right here, if you guys can see, right? So whatever the y value it is, it would have to be above that zone, right? So what you're going to do is grab this red and grab this blue and set them equal, basically, right? So because they're right now in inequality, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them into equal sign first to begin with, and then just go ahead and simply say 2x is equal to 5, so you can replace that 2x with the 5, so that'll be y is equal to 5 minus 1, so y is equal to 4. So maybe this point, the y is 4 right now, but once again, you would have to be above that in order to belong to that purple region, which is why it's going to be that y is greater than 4, and that's what matches answer choice B. All right, next, number 7. What is the solution set to the equation above? So this is what normally people do, right? So subtract 4 on both sides, and you get square root of 2x plus 6 is equal to x minus 1. And at this point, people, square both sides to cancel the square root. And then what you're going to end up having is 2x plus 6 is equal to x minus 1 square. And that's going to be a quadratic. Move everything over to one side, set it equal to 0, all that shit. I don't want to do it. So what I'm going to do is, instead of squaring both sides, at this point when I have it, I'm looking at the answer choices, and I'm just going to try some fucking points, right? And we'll see which ones actually work. So I'm going to try 0 first, because I start from the bottom. So that'll be square root of, if you plug in 0 for the x, that'll be 6 is equal to negative 1, and that's absolutely untrue, so means these should be out. And the next number I can try is negative 1, and let's try that. So if you plug in negative 1, 2 times negative 1, plus 6, well, that'll be 4. Negative 1 minus 1, that'll be negative 2. That is absolutely false, because remember, square root of 4 is just 2, not plus or minus 2. So that would be out. And then, yeah, it's got to be B then. I'm probably not going to check it for the sake of it, but if you want me to, then yeah, if you plug in 5, that'll be 16, and that'll be 4, so then which matches. Number 8. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to that? Okay, so first of all, x cubed minus 9x on the top, and then x squared minus 2x minus 3 on the bottom. Basically just factoring shit. So top it would be x squared minus 9. You can further factor that shit into, well, I'll do that later. X minus 3 and then x plus 1. And then that'll be x times x minus 3, x plus 3 on the top. You can further factor. And then that'll be x minus 3 and x plus 1 on the bottom. So if you just cancel the x minus 3 on top and bottom, then basically you get x and x plus 3 over x plus 1, which is choice D. Number 9. In the xy plane, there's a circle. Cool story. Point O's on a circle has coordinate 10, negative 5 if PQ is a diameter. Wait, hold on. So what are the coordinates of the point Q? So let's think about this. So right now we are located at 6 and negative 5 in terms of the center. And then the radius is 4, right? But I'm not going to really draw that for now. Apparently we have this point 10 and negative 5. That would be like 10, negative 5. Yeah, and that makes sense because, well, the radius must be a 4 according to this equation. And that is a distance of 4, right? So that makes sense. And they're saying PQ is a diameter. So this is a point P right here. I don't know where the Q is, but it probably have to be on the other side, right? So what do? Just go 4 units, right? 4 units to the left like this in order to, go to the other side of the diameter. Well, because the radius is supposed to be 4. And if you go there, then that'll be a 2. So x is 2, y is still negative 5. So there you have it, 2 and negative 5, and it's choice A. All right, number 10. A group of 202 people went on a overnight camping trip, taking 60 tents with them. Okay, some of the tents held 2 people each. The rest held 4 people each, assuming that tents were all filled to capacity. Exactly how many of the tents were 2-person tents? So this is what you can say. I'll just be like T is equal to 2-person tent, and then F is equal to 4-person tent. Okay. And then, which means the equation you can come up with is T plus F is equal to 60, aka all of the tents together was 60. And then 2T plus 4F is total of 202 people. There you have it, systems of equations. What do you want? You want the 2-person tent, so we're solving for the T. I want to cancel the F. So multiply that by negative 4, so that'll be negative 4T minus 4F is equal to negative 240. Cancel that shit, negative 2T is equal to negative 38, so T is equal to 19, answer choice C. Number 11, which of the following could be the equation? Yep, basically look at the zeros. There is that x plus 3 as a factor because x is equal to negative 3. And that'll be x minus 2 over there, and this x is equal to 0. So x minus 2 it should have, which means C and D are out. X plus 3, they both have it. The only question is it x or is it x squared? Well, if you remember from your algebra, that's going to be a multiplicity of 2 when it touches the x-axis. Or if you don't want to worry about that, just fuck that and just plug in, right? You can plug in something like 1, that point right there, which is going to be what, like a 1 and negative, I don't know, like 3 or something. So if you just simply plug in 1 and see which one gives you something like negative 3, well, let's check which one. If you look at B, that'll be 1 times negative 1 times 4, which is negative 4. Close enough, negative 3, negative 4. But look at what A is going to give you. That's going to give you 1 times negative 1 and 4. Oh, that still gives you negative 4. Okay, so that wasn't a good point to try. Then let's just try another point, right? How about I'm going to try a negative 1? Because if you look at difference between A and B, the reason it worked in the same way for both of the choices for x is equal to 1 is because the only difference is the x versus x squared, but then x is equal to 1, x squared is still equal to 1, so that's why it didn't make any change. How about this one, that point right there? That'll be negative 1 and negative, what, 4 once again? So if you try that, then now this is where the kicker kicks in. So if you do that, then for choice B, that's going to be 1 times negative 3 times 2, which is going to be negative 6. So negative 4, negative 6, I know I'm kind of off, but look at what A gives you. That's going to be negative 1 times negative 3 times positive 2, and that gives you positive 6, and that's hell not positive. So that's why A is wrong, and it's going to be B. Another way to tell is, that's not how I would have done it, because I know how this looks like. Because if you think about it, this is x squared, that's another x, that's another x. So the very leading term is going to be x to the 4th power. And x to the 4th power is a W graph. So if you look at it, this is kind of a W graph, which is why I knew immediately that it was choice B. But I just showed you the idea of plugging in just to make sure, if you don't know how to do that, if you didn't remember that, you can also do it this way. Number 12, if 2a, whatever, so what's b over a? So just cross multiply. 4a is equal to b. So just put that shit in right there. So that'll be 4a divided by a, which is just 4. Next, number 13, oil and gas production, whatever. So it went from 4 mil to 1.5 mil in about 13 years of a time. So that would be the slope, right? So that'll be negative 2.1 over 13 years. So something about that. And then assuming that whatever, a decrease of constant rate. Yeah, I just did that. So let's take a look. So we started with 4 and then we subtracted that much, right? 2.1 over 13. T. That's basically the equation. So if you look at it, well, first of all, I want you to get rid of a and b just because where's my negative, right? And then between C and D, well, yeah, it's got to be C because at 2, 1 and 2, 1 instead of the 19. Because remember, the 19, well, it's not really 19. I'll show you why that's 19 or like 21, why they wrote it like that. But 1.5 million is how much it is remaining. That's not how much it decreased by, which is why that's not true. Now, also, another thing, how the hell did this turn into a this? Because they kind of look different. No, they don't look different. 2.1 over 13. Just move the fucking 1, 0, 1, 0, and that'll be 21 over 130, which is what you're looking at in the answer choice. Did it really matter? No, you just see the 2, 1. Just match the 2, 1. All right, next, number 14. How many solutions are there to systems of equations? Well, basically, this is just going to be a parabola and a linear. So, it can be no solution like this. It can be one solution like this, or it can be 2 solutions like this. So, whichever way. But if it says 4 solutions, that doesn't fucking make any sense. But any of the BCD would make sense. So, how do you do it? Well, just set them equal, or substitution, whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5x and subtract 8 on the bottom equation. And I get y is equal to 5x minus 8, right? And then I'll just set that and that equal because they're both y's. So x squared plus 3x minus 7 is equal to 5x minus 8. I'll subtract 5x on both sides and add 8 on both sides as I always do for quadratics. And you get x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. AKA that factors into x minus 1 and x minus 1. And you realize x is equal to 1 is the only solution. It's a multiplicity of 2. But it's just one solution, so that's why it's going to have exactly one solution. So that will probably look something like this. Number 15, the function f, g, and h are defined. What is the value of h of 0? Okay, h of 0 better be 1 minus g of 0. What the fuck is g of 0? We'll just put it on top. That'll be, well, 2 times 0, which is a 0, 0 minus 1, that's just negative 1. So 1 minus negative 1, more parentheses, happier your life, 2 it is. Next, number 16. If a is a solution, what is the value of a? Okay, so that'll be factored into x plus 4 and x minus 3, and that's equal to 0. X is equal to negative 4, x is equal to 3. Which one is it? Definitely this guy. Not just because it says a is greater than 0. You're on a free response section. When you have that bubble sheet, you can't fucking bubble in a negative answer on this free response, which means this negative answer is not valid. Number 17, the sum of that is written in that form. Okay, well, let's sum it. That together would be just x squared. X plus 7x would be 8x. And then 31 plus negative 8, that'll be 23. Okay, so I guess A is 1, and then B is 8, and then C is 23. So just add this shit all up, and that'll be 32. All right, number 18, what is the value of y? I want the y. Let's cancel the x. It's nicely written as is. Just cancel that shit. So that would be 4y is equal to 6. So y is equal to 3 over 2, or 1.5, whatever you want. Number 19, a startup company opened 8 employees and then 2 new employees will be hired each quarter for 5 years. So if an equation is written like this, what is the value of B? What the fuck? B is a y-intercept. That's the starting value, initial value, which is 8 employees. There it is. The fuck is it? You don't even have to do any math here. Number 20. Figure not drawn to scale. Don't believe what you see, but in the circle, point A is the center, and the length of arc BC is 2/5 of the entire circumference. What is the value of x? So if you think about it, if that shit is 2/5 of the whole circle, then you should probably expect this angle right there should be 2/5 of the whole circle, which is how many degrees? 360 degrees. So just go ahead and take a 2/5 of the 360 degrees, cancel that, that'll be a 72. 72 times 2, 144 it is. Easy stuff. And that's the end of section 3. Moving on, section 4. Number 1, 1 pound of grapes costs $2. At this rate, how many will C pounds cost? We have 2C, right? Because 1 pound, $2. C pounds, well, 2 times C dollars. All right, number 2, tracing AI, whatever. On what interval did the number of figurines decrease the fastest? So first of all, decrease. So only these two would apply right there. And then of which it says the fastest, so probably the steeper one, which is 3 to 4. Right there, C. Number 3, in a random sample of 200 cars, 3 have manufacturing defect. Okay, at this rate, how many of the 10,000 cars? So 200, there are 3 defects. 10,000, how many defects? It's just freaking proportion. That would be times 50. That would have to be times 50, and that's 150. Number 4, scatter plot, whatever. Based on the line of best fit, if the width of the Aristotose petal is 19 millimeters cut, so 19. What's 19? The width, right? Oh yeah, so that would be like somewhere over there, 19. Well, it's not really in there. What is the predicted length? Well, if you can kind of picture it, because it doesn't say figure not drawn to scale, it would be probably somewhere like right there, which is what, like slightly less than 55. So definitely not 55.27 because that's over. And that's probably going to be this. Like, I mean, if you wanted to double check, you can go ahead and plug it into that equation. You see 1.67 and then just put 19 over here to double check if you would like. But I don't know why the fuck you would do that because this is pretty obvious. Number 5, figure not drawn to scale. Don't believe what you see. Line L and M are parallel, and Y is 20, so that better be 20 there as well. And Z is 60. What is the value of X? It's just a freaking triangle. Should add up to 180, so X better be 100. Number 6, 2 types of tickets. To sit on a bench during the concert costs $75, and then on the lawn costs $40. So 75 is the bench and 40 is the lawn. Okay, so something about that. If you look at the answer choices, well, B's got it fucked up in order, so that's wrong. And everything else seems about right, but A seems terribly wrong because why the fuck would you multiply bench and lawn? Like, what the fuck does that even give you? That's not it. So, organizers of the concert announced that 350 tickets have been sold. So, 350 is the tickets. If you look at C, it's fucking terribly written because 75, if anything, the 75 is dollar value. So why the fuck would you say dollars plus dollars is equal to fucking tickets? That doesn't make any sense in terms of units, so it's probably going to be D. I'm not going to read the rest. It's enough is enough. Number 7, in the XY plane, the graph for which of the following equations align with the slope of 3. What the fuck is that one? Slope of 3. Number 8, in the equation above, which of the following is a possible value of x plus 1? So check this out. Go ahead and multiply by x plus 1. Remember, we're solving for the x plus 1. So that'll be just x plus 1 plus x plus 1, so x plus 1 squared. And that's equal to 2. Square the fucking root both sides. And x plus 1 is equal to plus or minus square root of 2, which is answer choice B. Easy stuff, right? You're solving for x plus 1, so x plus 1 is just square root of plus or minus 2. Well, plus or minus square root of 2. All right, number 9 to 11's got to do with this glass. And it's got a volume of this shit, and then 16, that is 16 fluid ounces. Okay. Number 9, what is the value of K? All right, so we know the volume already. Volume is 473, so you just set that shit equal to the volume, right? So that's equal to 7 pi K cubed over 48. Yeah, I would probably go ahead and use my calculator for this. So go ahead and multiply both sides by 48 over 7 pi. So 48 over 7 pi, just cancel that, cancel that. So yeah, when you guys punch it into your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around the 7 pi, because if you don't, then your calculator is going to actually do divided by 7 times pi if you don't put that parentheses around. So make sure to do that. But if you just punch that shit into your calculator, then I got 1032.41 whatever is equal to k cubed. So I'm going to take a cube root now. So cube root that shit, and I got k is equal to 10.107, which is pretty close to 10.11 or 10.11. So the answer choice D. Number 10, water pours into the glass slowly at a constant rate. So people just read the constant rate and just circle A. That's terribly wrong. It's not going to be that. Which of the following graphs best illustrates the height of the water level in the glass? In the glass. If you take a look at the shape of this glass right now, just think about you pouring water into this shit, right? In the beginning, it's going to fill up fast. Why? Because the bottom fucking of the cup is actually, the bottom portion is actually narrower in terms of its diameter, which is why if you pour the same amount at a constant rate in the beginning, it's going to fill up pretty fast. But as you know, it gets filled up, and then as the water level starts rising up, well, the diameter is expanding, which means the rate at which the water is being filled, even though you are pouring at a constant rate, this shit is actually not being filled up at a constant rate. In the beginning, it fills up fast, and then later it fills up a little slower. So A is definitely wrong for that. And then B is just fucking skyrocketing. So what the fuck? And D's like, what the hell is this? Absolutely untrue. And C is what it is. In the beginning, it fills up, like it rises pretty fast, and then it kind of starts to slow down a little bit, and that's what C means. Yep, and then at this point, it's just going to plateau, right? Why is that? Because once the glass is filled, the more you pour in, it's not going to make any difference. It's going to spill out. All right, number 11. Jeremy has a pitcher that contains 1 gallon of water. How many times could Jenny completely fill the glass with 1 gallon of water? Okay, so 1 gallon is 128 fluid ounce. They gave it to you. And you look at here that each cup is, or each glass is 16 fluid ounces. So you got 128 in total. We'll divide that by 16, and that's going to give you 8. All right, number 12. Roberto is an insurance agent who sells 2 types of policies, 50,000 policy, 100,000 policy. Last month, his goal was to sell at least 57. So stop there, and I'm like 57 or greater. Insurance policy. While he did not meet his goal. Oh, stop. Oh, so he did not meet his goal. So he wanted it to be 57 or above, but he didn't make it. So it's the other way around. 57, well, less than 57 probably, right? Because he didn't make it to 57 or greater. So you can't include the 57 either. So it's got to be less than 57. So if you look from the bottom, D's got it wrong. So C's got it right. That's cool. And then B's got it wrong. That's out. And A's got it right. And then what else? The total value of the policies he sold was over 3 million. Oh, okay, so it's got to be 3 mil, well, greater than 3 mil. So if you look at C, well, it's got the right sign, but if you look at A, it's got the wrong sign. So A is out, it's got to be C. And don't rate the rest. Number 13, what is A? Yeah, just multiply the exponents by -2 and -2 to cancel that to A to the 1 power. That's equal to x to the -2, which means A is 1 over x squared. Answer choice C. Number 14, which of the following is a value of x for which that is undefined, aka you want the bottom to be 0. So x squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. Factor that shit, and that'll be x plus 5. X plus 5, x minus 2, and that's equal, x is equal to -5, x is equal to 2. I don't see -5, but I do see a 2. Number 15, a granite block in the shape of a right rectangular prism. So right rectangular prism. That looks more like a cube, but who cares? Dimensions 30 by 40 by 50. The block has a density of 2.8 grams per cubic centimeter. So 2.8 grams per cubic centimeter. What is the mass? Okay, so first of all, you can find the volume. Just multiply all these shit, right? And that would be 60,000, so 60,000. And that's centimeter cube. So what you can do is bring that shit over here. And that would be 2.8 grams per cubic centimeter. So when you multiply, the cubic centimeter will cancel and it will give you the grams, right? You really don't need a calculator because 60,000 times 2 already should be 120,000. So it should be bigger than that, and D is the only one that matches that. You really don't have to use your calculator. Number 16, the table, whatever. 300, yeah, but it says all up there, so whatever. Just get rid of all that shit. What proportion of adults who received a sugar pill? So, what proportion of adults who received a sugar pill, stop it. So we're not going to count from everybody. We're only going to count from the ones who got the sugar pill, which is out of 150. Reported contracting a cold. So that would be 33 right there. So cancel by 3s, and that'll be 11 over 50. Answer choice B. Number 17, the table above shows the distribution. 20 students, whatever. Which of the following gives the correct order of the mean, median, and mode? Okay, so first of all, the mode is the easiest to see because mode is the number that it most frequently pops up, while frequency is 6, the highest at age 18. So there you have it. Mode is 18. That wasn't too bad. And then now the median. Let me find the middle guy. The middle guy would be what? We have 20 students, so that's going to be the 10th guy and 11th guy, right? Both of them are going to be the medians, right? So 10th guy and 11th guy, where are they? Well, the first 6 people are 18, and up until the 11th person is 19. So there you have it. Median is 19. And then the mean, finally. Mean, how do we find a mean? Add them all up and divide by 20 students in this case, right? So 18 times 6, and then 19 times 5, and then 20 times 4, 21 times 2, and then 22, 23, and 30. So that would be, too lazy to go to my calculator, so that'll be 108, and that'll be 95, oh my god, and then 80, and then 42, and then if you just add all these up, that would be a total of 75. Yep, so that together is going to be 170. With that, that'll be 250, and then these two will be 150, so that will be a total of 400 divided by 20 students. Also, that's nicely 20. So mean is 20, so mean is the highest, median is next, and mode is the last. So that will be answer choice A. Mean is the greatest, and then the median, and then the mode. Number 18, figure, whatever, I don't want to read. That's it. And then a particular forest in Canada whose data is not included in the figure had a mean annual temperature of -2. So -2 would be like where? Like right there, somewhere right there, right? So something like that. And then, based on the line of best fit, which of the following is close to the predicted percent of leaf litter mass remaining? Yeah, it's just fucking, what is that? That's 70%. That's it. Easy. Number 19, the range of the polynomial. F is a set of real numbers less than or equal to 4. So the range is the y value. So anywhere from 4 to the bottom. So if you look at the answer choices, anywhere to the 4 to the bottom, what the fuck is this portion doing? You can't go up like that. Nope. C, anywhere to the 4 and bottom. What are these two doing? You can't be like that. Anywhere 4 towards the bottom. Yeah, that's fine. And then that seems fine too. Okay. And then the zeros of F are -3 and 1. So I got to have that. If you look at B, -1. Yep, that's a no-no. But A, yeah, it does have -3. It does have 1. There you have it. Number 20. The average annual energy cost for a certain home is $43.34. Homeowner plans to spend $25,000 to install a geothermal heating system. Cool story, bro. The homeowner estimates that the average annual energy cost will then be $27.12. Which of the following equalities can be solved to find T? The number of years after the installation of which a total amount of energy cost savings will exceed the installation cost. So basically, simply put, when the fuck is it gonna be worth it? Because they're putting $25,000 right now. So when is it ever gonna be? When can we ever say, oh, like it was worth it because apparently it saved me more than the $25,000? So here we go. How much is the saving? Well, right now you're paying $43.34. That becomes $27.12. So if you just get the different $27.12, so if you get the difference of the two, that will be the saving. So that would be the amount of saving every year, right? And if you multiply that by T, that would be the total amount of saving for the entire T years. And what do we want? We want that to be greater than the 25,000 that you're putting in right now. So which one is that? That is answer choice B, where your saving right here is greater than your 25,000. All right, 21 through 22's got to do with this table. There's that equation. I don't want to read the rest, so I'm not going to read it. Now, 21, which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 3.39? So that's the slope. Slope is rise over run, which in this case, well, y over x, which in this case, the amount of plastic, which is the y, over the number of years. So something about the amount of plastic goes up by 3.39 every fucking year. Something like that. So D, the average annual increase in billions of pounds of plastic produced per year since, okay, that sounds pretty good. How about C, the average annual plastic production in billions, average annual plastic production, it's the increase, it's the slope, it tells you something about the increase. B, the number of years, no, fucking, that's T. A, the amount of plastic, no, it's not the amount of plastic, it is the increase in the amount of plastic per year. D is the best one. Number 22, which of the following is a closer to percent increase in the billions of pounds of plastic produced in the U.S. from 2000 to 2003? So if we look at it, 2000, well, this is number of years since 1985. So for 2000, well, X would equal 15. And then for 2003, well, X is equal 18. So that would be 15 right there and the 18 right there. So let's compare the value. That would be, I'll just call it 100, who cares? And then that would be, call that like, I don't know, 110, enough. So 100 to 110. So 100 to 110. Well, it's fucking already nicely in percentage as is. You can just call that 100%, 110%. So it went up by 10%. Easy. Number 23, equation. So this is T years. You just want to put it in Q quarters. So don't change the freaking 1.02. And you just got to cut it in quarters. Well, if you think about it, 2 years would be, well, 2 years. So T being 2 would have to equal 8 quarters because 2 years is 8 quarters. So Q is equal to 8. So if you put the 8 back in, what gives you 2 like the original? Well, that's what A gives you. So how the fuck am I supposed to know whether I should divide or multiply the 4? You can just try plugging some numbers. All right, number 24. For the finale of a TV show, viewers could use either social media or text message to vote for their favorite. Okay, whatever, man. The contestant receiving more than 50% of the vote won. What dirt? An estimated 10% of the viewers voted, and 30% of the votes were cast on social media. Okay. Contestant 2 earned 70% of the votes cast using social media, and 40% of the votes cast using a text message. Okay, based on the information, we'll just find as an accurate conclusion. Well, let's start reading from the bottom because I really just have to check one at a time. So here we go. D. Viewers voting by social media were more likely to prefer contestant 2 than viewers voting by text message. Yeah, that's literally what it says, right? Contestant 2 earned 70% of the votes cast using social media. So whoever voted through social media probably voted contestant 2 a lot more than the contestant 1. So this is true. Let's just see if the other ones are all wrong. C. If all viewers who voted had voted by social media instead of by text message, contestant 2 would have won. Okay, you might have thought that could be possible, but yeah, and it could be, but the question is, does it have to be the case? And the answer is absolutely not, because all we know is percentage. How about this? What if I tell you that the number of people who voted through social media were 10 people, and the number of people who voted through text message was 2 billion fucking people? Okay, then now we're talking something different. Although 70% is a higher percentage, the percentage only tells you the ratio. We don't know how many people were there. So therefore, 70% of fucking what? So that's why you can't just say and be like, oh, like, if it was all social media, then like contestant 2 would have won. Because you don't fucking know. There could have been much smaller number of populations for the social media, which is why we can't say that for sure. B. Viewers voting by social media were likely to be younger than the viewers voting by text message. Yeah, that's fucking bias. I mean, probably very, very possibly true in today's world, but yeah, you can't say that. I mean, yeah, I'm a fucking, 50, 60 people can vote by social media just fine too. So yeah, you can't say that. A. If all viewers had voted contestant 2, yeah, you can't fucking know that. So D it is. D is the most reasonable logic that you can draw from whatever they told you. Just the fact that whoever voted through social media, they just happen to be more in favor of the contestant two. That's all you can say. All right, number 25. The table shows the population, whatever. It's linear. So let's just figure it out. So t years after 2000. Yep. So basically, the slope would be, well, that decreased by 16 in that 10 years of a time. So slope better be negative 1.6. And that basically has A and D. But what the fuck is this T minus 2000? T is not the year. T is just simply the number of years since 2000. So D is not it. It's got to be A. Number 26, to determine the mean number of children per household in a community. Tabitha surveyed 20 families at a playground. For the 20 family survey, the mean number of children per household was 2.4. Which of the following statements must be true? Okay, so if you think about it, what are they doing a survey on? To determine the mean number of children per household in the community. Just think about it. Imagine y'all fucking take off to college and y'all happen to live in that community right now, like in this question. If Tabitha did survey for from 20 families at a playground, and she is running through a survey to those people out there, just think about it. Would you guys ever fucking hang out at a playground when you're 21 years old? Man, fuck that, man. Y'all be drinking at some house party or something, right? So if somebody is walking out to the playground and surveying people out there, I mean, just take a wild guess. Why the fuck do you think they're there? Why? Because like they're 40 years old and they want to be on the slide? No, they're probably with their children. So the fact that you went to a playground, the fact that you picked a playground as your main source of survey is terribly fucking biased, because most likely the types of people that you'll face at the playground will probably have some children to begin with. Then you're totally disregarding all of the people like yourself who are 21 who don't have children but who still live in that community. Well, this person is totally disregarding all the populations like you, right? Because this person is picking particular location, probably the place that probably has particular populations as the main source of the survey. That's terribly biased. So which is why the answer must be C, because the sampling method is flawed and may produce a biased estimate of the mean number of children per household. You're completely disregarding all the possible people out there who may not even have any children to begin with, right? But just because you did your survey at the playground, you're fucking biased. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Number 27. XY plane, PR lies in line with that one. So you can just simply go ahead and just replace the X with the P and replace the Y with the R, because that's what the X and Y is, right? PR. And then the coordinates 2P, 5R in the other one. So let's do the same. 5R over there. And then 2P into the X. So that would be 5R is equal to 4P plus B. What is the value of R over P? So basically you have two different equations. R is equal to P plus B. 5R is equal to 4P plus B. Let's go ahead and multiply that by negative. So negative R is equal to negative P minus B. So B's go away. So 4R is equal to 3P. What do we want? R over P. I mean, at this point, you can say R is 3 and P is 4. So just be 3 over 4. That would be the answer. Or the way to really see it is you can divide by P's on both sides to cancel that, R over P. And you can divide by 4's on both sides to cancel that. So R over P is equal to 3 over 4. Whichever way it makes sense to you. Number 28, the 22 students in a health class. So 22 students, fuck the rest. Let S1 and R1 be the standard deviation range. Which of the following is true? Okay, so first of all, I want you to notice. Let's do the range first, because range is easy. Just big minus a small. So for before the exercise, 88, 56. Subtract, that'll be 32. That's the range. How about the other one? Beats per minute after exercise. 112, 80, subtract the 2, you get 32. Oh, so the range is the same for both. So range is the same for both. Get rid of B and C. And then standard deviation. Well, standard deviation by definition is, well, according to the mathematical definition, is how far are each of your data sets from the very mean. So it's just to calculate the variance and shit like that. We don't do that on the SAT. It's just how different is everybody from each other. Well, just take a look at it. Before exercise, after exercise. Well, before exercise, everybody's kind of clustering towards that 68 to 76 zone. But after exercise, fucking everybody's all over the places. So standard deviation is definitely not the same. Do we need to calculate it? No. The whole point is, are they the same or not, right? Because A says they're the same, D says they're not the same, and hell no, they're the same. It's not the same, right? How different is everybody from each other? All the variation among everybody was definitely different before the exercise and after the exercise. So that's why the answer must be D. Number 29, photocopy machine is initially rated with 5,000. So you start with the 5,000 and the machine starts a large job and copies at a constant rate. So I'm already thinking it's got to be linear, get rid of C and D. After 20 minutes, it has used 30% of the paper. Which of the following is the model? Okay, so after 20 minutes, 30% is gone. Wait, 30% of 5,000, that would be 1,500. So 1,500 is gone in 20 minutes. Okay, slope. 1,500, subtract 1,500 per 20 minutes. So if you just do the math, that'll be minus 75 as the main slope, which is answer choice B. Number 30. The complete whatever. The maximum value of f is k. So that is k. Well, that's 3 right there. Okay. So what is the value of g of k? So basically g of 3. AK, you go to this graph and see where x is equal to 3. That is right there, and that'll be 6. All right, and then moving on to free response. Here we go. Number 31. There are 2 atoms of hydrogen and one atom in a molecule. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody should fucking know H2O. But, yeah, the College Board assumes that you didn't even fucking know that. It's kind of stupid. But how many atoms of hydrogen are there in 51 molecules of water? Well, each molecule of water has got 2 hydrogen in it, so 51 of them. We got 1 or 2 in there. Number 32, x is equal to 1, so put that in. What is the value of a? Easy. Subtract 1 on both sides. Negative 1/2 a is equal to negative 1. Multiply both sides by negative 2 to cancel that shit, so a is equal to positive 2. There it is. Number 33, xy plane. Those two represent the same line, so it better be the same equation. So x plus 2y is equal to 10. 3x plus 6y is equal to c. They better be the same. So what I'll do is I'll grab the top one and multiply by 3 so that I get 3x. That's nice. I get 6y. That's nice. And I get 30. So my last wish is c is equal to 30. So it's 30 it is. 34. On April 18, 1775, Paul Revere set off on his midnight. Whatever, man. I don't give a shit. If he had ridden straight to Lexington without stopping, he would have traveled 11 miles in 26 minutes. In such a ride, what will be the average speed to the nearest tenth of a mile per hour? Okay, so mile per hour is what I want. I already know it's 11 miles. I just have to know the hours. Well, I don't have the hours right now, but I do have the minutes given, right? I have 26 minutes. So let's just convert that into hours. 26 minutes. Well, 60 minutes is 1 hour. And when you just punch that into your calculator, you're going to get 0.4333 repeat hour. So 0.433 repeat hour. So if you just simply divide 11 divided by 0.4333333 whatever, then your calculator will give you 25.3846154 is basically what I get. So nearest tenth, that would just be 25.4. All right, so number 35, we have this function, and then we have this function. So we just want to set them equal. Easy, yeah. So just use a instead of x. It really doesn't matter, but so negative 1/2 a minus 4 squared plus 10 is equal to negative a plus 10. Okay, first of all, so subtract 10 on both sides to get it out of the way. So negative 1/2 a minus 4 squared is equal to negative a. Let's go ahead and just cancel the negatives and multiply both sides by 2 to cancel the 1/2. So a minus 4 squared is equal to 2a. Let's now FOIL that shit. A squared minus 8a plus 16 is equal to 2a. Subtract 2a on both sides, set it equal to 0. A squared minus 10a plus 16 is equal to 0. Factor that shit, a minus 2. So that just gives you a is equal to 2, a is equal to 8. So whatever the fuck you want to circle, because it says one possible value. So either one of the two is going to work. Number 36, in triangle RST above, point W not shown and lies on RT. What is the value of cosine of RSW and sine of WST? So the point is this, right? Like wherever the hell you put that W, well, it's going to be somewhere in between the R and T. You might want to put it in a way that you also form another right triangle, because if you don't, then you won't be able to take something like sine, cosine, tangent, because if you think about it, all those trig functions, you need the opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, and shit like that, right? So wherever you put W, you want to make sure you connect it to like some other points or some other vertices of that triangle, the already given triangle, aka RST, and you also want to make sure you create another right triangle. So the way you had to put it was in between right there. So that's where the W should go, so that you are now forming this new right triangle, if you can see that, right? So first of all, I hope everybody sees three different triangles, right? I see the red, I see the green, and I see the blue, and they happen to be all similar triangles. So I'm gonna take them all out. And then now the baby one, that'll be S over here, W here, T here, with that 5 there. And then the red one, the big one, and that would be R, W, S like this with the 12 there. And then now finally the real big one, just take the whole thing out. And then that would be S over here, T over there, and R over here. And that basically has 12 on the bottom and 5 right there. Okay, so please understand that they are all similar triangles, right? So given that, cosine of RSW. RSW would be on the red triangle, RSW. So we're talking about that angle. So cosine would be, so let me just kind of color code it so you see it. Cosine of RSW would be adjacent over hypotenuse, those two. And then sine of WST, if you think about that one, that will be on the small triangle, the baby triangle. So that's would be angle S right there, so WST. And then you're going to take opposite over hypotenuse. So that would be opposite over hypotenuse. And if you think about it, if you just take a look at it, we're basically fucking talking about the same two corresponding sides, right? Once again, the very size of the two triangles is different, but that doesn't matter, because if you tell me about, similar triangles, they have the same proportions. So let's just say, fuck the 5 and 12. You don't even need those numbers. Imagine this was like, 3 and 10. Imagine it was something like that, right? Then now it would, for the bigger one, let's just say it's bigger by triple, so that'll be like 9 and 30. It really doesn't fucking matter what the point, but the point is, if you take the cosine of this, that'll be 9 over 30, which reduces to 3 over 10. And if you take sine of this, well, you get 3 over 10. It's the same freaking value anyway. So what do we know? Whatever this is, it's the same exact value. So the same number minus the same number, that should be a 0. That's why the answer is 0. So all you have to do is just kind of, draw that point W in between R and T in a way that you're going to create another right triangle, because you cannot take sine, cosine, tangent if you don't have that. And just realize that they're all similar triangles and therefore similar proportions. So cosine of R is W and sine of WST are basically the same shit. All right, and then number 37, 38 has got to do with this table and graph. 20 minutes, but I kind of see all that, 20 minutes and 20 minutes, so they just fuck all that. So number 37, according to the table, how many more micrograms of penicillin are present in 10 mils of blood drawn from the patient 5 minutes after the injection? Stop. So let's go to the table, because that's what they said. And 10 mils of blood, 5 minutes. So where would that be? So 5 minutes is definitely right there. And that is 152. Let's just write that. 152, it says micrograms. So micrograms. I mean, if you didn't know that micro is supposed to be that unit, like, who really cares? Just, you can say micrograms per milliliter. But what did they say? They said 10 mil, right? So you have 10 mil. Oh, you can just simply fucking multiply, and that'll be 1520 micrograms. Okay, so I can just mark that 1520, and then let me do a different color this time. And then 8 mils, 10 minutes. Okay, so let's do another round. Now 10 minutes, which is 118 microgram per milliliter, but they said 8 mils. So 8 mil. Once again, you can go ahead and multiply, and milliliters will just cancel. So 118 times 8, well, that gives me 944 micrograms. So there you have it. you got 1520, and then you got 944. So all you gotta do is just subtract the two because you're looking for the difference, how many more. So 1520 minus the 944, and that should get you 576. All right, last question, number 38. Penicillin concentration, T minutes. Apparently, this is the equation. What do they want? They just want the B. Okay, well, I mean, you fucking have so many of these numbers that you can plug in. Just go to the table, dude. I mean, you have all these numbers that you can try. I'm just going to pick some nice number. How about this? 10 minutes, 118. Okay, so P is equal to 118 when T is equal to 10. So just put that shit in there. So that'll be 118 is equal to 200. B to the power of 10 divided by 5. So cancel that and just divide by 200 on both sides. So when you do that, 118 divided by 200, I got 0.59 is equal to B squared, right? So you can go ahead and just square root both sides. So B is equal to plus or minus, but you're on a section for free response. You don't need to worry about the negatives and shit. And when you do that, I got 0.76811, whatever. They want me to round to the nearest tenth, and that'll just be 0.8. And believe me, for God's sake, if you used any other data points in the table as given, you would have gotten the same exact answer. I mean, it might be a little bit different, 0.79 or like 0.75 or fucking whatever. But if you just round it all up to the 10th, it's still gonna give you 0.8 regardless. So that basically wraps up the entire section 3 and 4 of the practice test number 8.